Keto. We get asked about it all the time and have worked with so many women who came to us after trying keto and not having success. So today we're sharing some specific concerns and issues we have found with the keto diet based on our own experience and that of our clients. Okay, so we know it can be a touchy subject, and if you are a keto lover and having great results with it, that is awesome. But this is probably not the video for you. For the best wellness and weight loss solutions for women over 50, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a video. Keto is so popular now. I actually did keto for myself because I wanted to see what it was like, and I felt like I needed to experiment so we could help our clients better. So in case you don't know, in all styles of the keto diet, the majority of your daily calories come from dietary fat, about 75%. You also eat a moderate amount of protein, about 20%, and very few net carbs per day. Now we're going to share with you our 5 main concerns with going keto at this stage in our lives, but before we do, let us know in the comments, have you tried keto? And if so, what was your experience? All right, challenge number 1 is quality. Now there's so many versions of keto out there. It's so important that if you are going to do keto, you really take the time to learn and to do it right. We've seen all kinds of keto and go crazy when we hear about people doing dirty keto. Dirty keto is following the same macros as the keto diet, but without paying attention to where those macros come from. So we have seen food lists that include fast food burgers without the bun, processed cheese, fried pork rinds. You get the deal. Ladies, at this stage in our lives, we need to be super careful about our food sources. And while you may lose weight doing it this way in the short term, these increased garbage foods are going to certainly disrupt your metabolism, hinder future weight loss, and also increase menopause symptoms and not be good for your health in the long term. So we could say for sure, definitely skip dirty keto. And on top of that, even if you're not doing dirty keto, you need to be really careful about the quality of the food you're eating. Number 2 is sustainability. So we personally have worked with hundreds of women who tried keto and either were not happy with the results or they had success but just didn't feel like they could stay on it long term. It should not feel like a diet, but more of a way of life when you find the right plan for you. And if there are too many rules, too many adjustments to make when you're out to eat, if you have to give up so many of your favorite foods, that's just not going to be something you want to consider long term. Now listen, we're all about the long game, and if something isn't sustainable, you need to rethink it. A sustainable plan is what we focus on in our Simply Nourished Solutions program, and we'll talk about that more later.
Okay, reason number 3 that you may want to consider not doing keto is that because keto diets are extremely low carb, it limits an entire group of foods that are critical to feeding what's known as your microbiome. For a quick refresher, your microbiome refers to the trillions and trillions of bacteria that reside in your body, mostly in your colon. So everybody has a combination of what we consider good bacteria and bad bacteria. And individuals that have a healthy microbiome house a much larger proportion of good bacteria or beneficial bacteria than what we call bad or pathogenic bacteria. And so what you want to understand is that the good bacteria, they perform so many amazing functions in your body. They help nurture your immune system, they improve your bowel habits, they enhance your vitamin and mineral absorption, they kill off pathogens, they modulate your mood, they can regulate blood sugars, they can regulate blood pressure and blood cholesterol levels. So many things that they are beneficial for in your body that most people aren't even aware of. And the problem is that the bacteria need to be fed. Your good guys have to get nourished, right? And so the way they're nourished is through eating a diet that is high in fiber and high in something called polyphenols. And where do you think these 2 food sources for our bacteria come from? Carbohydrates. So they're not found in protein and they're not found in fat. If you haven't heard of polyphenols before, those are plant compounds that are found in all your colorful foods, like the reds and greens and blues and oranges and yellows of all your fruits and vegetables, different colored beans and legumes. There are red rice, red quinoa, abundant in all these plant sources. Again, all carbohydrates. So the microbes, your good critters, they feed on the fiber and polyphenols, and they in turn produce other beneficial compounds, one of them known as short chain fatty acids, you may have heard of, and that's what your body uses to create all these amazing benefits. We do have a carb yay or nay video that we have on the channel, so we'll share that in the description below as to how to help you include more carbs in the diet safely. This makes it obvious that if you're following a strict keto diet, it's going to be a lot harder to get in enough of these beneficial compounds, these good fibers and these good polyphenols that's going to benefit your microbiome. That being said, there is some controversy. We have seen a couple of human studies and a couple animal studies that the microbiome was not devastated when in following the keto plan. So we're not sure where the research is going to end up with keto and how that's going to affect it. But what we do know is that there's hundreds of studies and hundreds of fecal samples with all these companies doing stool samples that show that when you go from a low fiber, low polyphenol diet to a high fiber, high polyphenol diet, your beneficial microbes soar, grow, and multiply, and it's totally incredible. Like there's no doubt behind that research. We will also have a whole other video just on the microbiome, so stay tuned for that.
Issue number 4 is what we would call health caveats. So when we're looking at a long-term plan, a healthy plan for women over 50, and we look at something like the Mediterranean diet, we see that, first of all, there's fewer restrictions on it, but the research on it is almost all positive. There's so much more controversy and unknowns when it comes to keto. So in addition to the microbiome issues, we've seen plenty of research, and also we've seen it in many clients who came to us after doing keto, that some of their biomarkers aren't so great. Issues with cholesterol, inflammation, things like that. Now, having said that, we know that some people do keto and their biomarkers improve. So really what that tells us is that it just proves the point that we are all different, and what was great for one person may not be great for another. So we also see issues with constipation, which kind of goes along with the microbiome issues, but a lot of times people cannot digest all that fat. They tend to get constipated, on top of probably getting less fiber. We see some nutrient deficiencies. They're not getting enough calcium, magnesium, B vitamins that we tend to get through our more carb food. Also, when you're in ketosis, a lot of people talk about how great their mood is, but we've seen people also say they were just moody and cranky on the keto diet. So that's a concern as well. There's also been some concern about what the keto does long-term to bone health. We've seen research on that, so that kind of raises a red flag for us at this point. And we've seen plenty of people talk about problems with hair loss. Again, that tends to indicate some kind of nutritional deficiency or something going on that is not positive. Also, sleep. We probably talk about sleep in just about all our videos, but prioritizing sleep is so important, and we've heard from many of our clients that they had started having sleep issues when they went on the keto diet. Another thing that we've seen that keeps popping up in the research is concerns about it affecting their thyroid, or especially if you have hypothyroid. A large percent of women that we work with have thyroid issues, so we need to give you extra caution if you have thyroid issues and you want to do the keto diet. So keep in mind that this diet is not just about weight loss. We want to find what works for you and also supports your overall health in general. And just a few words about my own personal experience. I can say that I actually enjoyed the food. I tend to like high-fat foods. It was fun for me to explore and research and find new meals and things like that. I didn't really mind it. I didn't feel like I was so deprived. However, I do lift weights, and I noticed that I was not able to lift as much as I was before. So once I started to put more carbs back in, I found that I was just much stronger, and I actually like to now have some carbs before a lifting workout, and I find that that really helps me.
Okay, let's dive into our last caveat about the keto diet, which brings up something we call the happiness factor. So, when you're thinking about the most beneficial plan to follow for you, something that's going to give you some weight loss, but it's going to make you feel good. Look forward to eating your food every day and not having to count every single macro or take your urine or make sure you're in ketosis is what we call the happiness factor. So it's going to a plan that gets you results, but that you're super happy following. Like it doesn't feel hard, and it feels like something you can sustain for the rest of your life. Our overall experience is that we've seen our clients benefit the most when they include more carbs in their diet. In moderation, of course, depending on, of course, what carbs. There's carbs that are better and carbs that are not as good, but usually just way happier with less restrictions and still getting really good results. So let us know if you tried keto. What has been your experience? We do know people that are loving it and thrive on it and feel great, but we've also seen the keto dropouts, many of them who we were able to help without having to go to those levels of restriction. Okay, let's just conclude here. The bottom line is we know this is a delicate and nuanced topic, and different people are going to respond in different ways. Don't feel bad. Again, like I said, if keto wasn't right for you and it was great for your neighbor, no worries. Not everybody does well with it. There's other ways to get success. And like we've said before, most of the time it is just simply not necessary to go to these extremes. We always try to achieve or help our clients achieve realistic goals that can be maintained for life and make them feel good and happy and look forward to their food. So if you're looking for an alternative to keto and you need some extra support, we do walk you through all the strategies I just mentioned in much more detail in our Simply Nourished Solution program, which is a transformational 3-month program to help women with weight loss and sustainable eating habits. So we have some spots currently open now, and if you're interested, we are going to put a link in the description below so you can connect with one of us if you want to hear more about that.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you'll be notified when we release a video. And also check out our next video for even more support on managing weight and health after 50.